right, welcome back to another episode of On the DELO. I am your host, the DELO. Obviously, that's why you are here, and I appreciate it. I am wearing my nifty Van Halen t-shirt. I was playing a little bit of drums beforehand on the introductory music that we have. This intro music, I don't know where, I think it just came with the Rode soundboard, and I've used it ever since. This is episode 126, and I think I've used that music 126 times because I'm not creative enough or smart enough to put any other sort of intro stuff in there. And I remember when Jeremy was here last week, I was like, dude, have you used any of your buttons? He's like, no. Like his buttons don't even exist. Like, I mean, come on. Right? It's pretty cool. So at least I got those buttons there. Bam. So I was playing a little bit of drums to the intro music, and lo and behold, I looked at my Van Halen shirt and I just thought about Alex Van Halen, who just sold, like, I don't know how much he sold, but he sold a lot. He did a lot of his drum kits, his gold platinum records, like all of this really cool stuff. Van Halen stuff I would love to bid on, but as my wife says, I don't need any more clutter. And really, why do we need more objects from other people? Yeah, granted, my favorite band, and might be kind of cool to have a gold or platinum record that was hanging maybe in his warehouse or his wall in his house. But I didn't go to auction to go buy that stuff because I'm very mature at age 50, and my kids probably don't want that stuff either. So why would I take it and store it? Okay. Anyways, we have a good podcast today. At least I think so. It's one that's dear to my heart, and we're going to call this 10 years no beers. Yeah, 10 years no beers. So this is a podcast just kind of going through my crusade of the last 10 years. I celebrated my 10-year anniversary on June 10th. So we got the 10 theme going. And the 10-year anniversary is basically, I guess it's what people would call sobriety, right? I don't know if I really call myself like a sober person or it's sobriety or whatever it was, but when I had made a decision 10 years ago, it was basically a decision that was more of a personal decision. It was the decision to honestly at age 40 to get my shit together, right? And there's a multitude of reasons and let's just say events and a series of mindsets that had happened to make me want to go down that path for myself. Nobody else, but for myself. I wasn't forced. I didn't go to jail. It's so funny because a lot of people are like, man, did you have a hard life growing up? No, my life's perfect. I mean, it really was. I mean, my parents got divorced, but that ended up being a great thing. It really did, because I got 3 dads now and 3 moms and just a lot of relationships and a lot of good stuff that they're all caring and loving. And so I never had like this trial and tribulation of this turmoil of things, but I know that my family had like a history of drinking. My grandmother had passed away from alcohol abuse, and she had fallen into depression after my grandfather had passed away. And I was just a kid. I remember, like yesterday, when I was in New York visiting him in the hospital bed, and he gave me we had these things called barrel of monkeys. You would hook all the monkeys' arms up together and you would barrel them up. I don't know if you people remember that, but that would be a really cool thing to actually get my hands on again. I would love a barrel of monkeys. So alcohol has been pretty prevalent in, our family, like I'm sure it is in a lot of your families. And no disrespect to alcohol, because I own a company that actually makes a lot of money off of alcohol. So, when I was growing a business, believe it or not, before I was growing a business and when I was just kind of like in my teenage years and even my early 20s when I worked, heavily in the music business for Van Halen, Motley Crue, Madonna, I mean, a lot of artists, I never drank. I mean, if I did, it wasn't like when I really drank. And that didn't happen until I actually had gotten into the insurance/hospitality business. But, in high school, like a lot of my friends were, we were building floats. I guess they still do those floats in high school, right, Anna? Yeah, you're just kind of out of high school. And they do these floats, and they build these big monstrosity things that they pull behind vehicles or whatever it is. And the whole float party was really about drinking. It was about getting crap-faced at whatever parent's house would allow you to bring your, what did we drink back? What did they drink back then? It was like Bartles and James, is that, and Southern Comfort. Yeah, and some sort of like Purple Passion. Like, it was just really disgusting stuff. I never got into it. I was never a drinker in high school. It just wasn't my thing. I was really nervous about it. I was almost like anti-drinking then. So then I get into I get out of high school, get in, do the music business stuff, and then really the drinking starts when I get into insurance. And that's just kind of like one of those worlds, like I would assume like banking and mortgaging and this and that. Everything's about a happy hour. Everything's about socialization, and all the socialization and everything revolves around booze. And doesn't matter really what booze it is. It's just, you're either at a wine bar, you're at a party bar where there's, bottle service, which is really popular for the, late 20, 30-year-olds that want to be cool and, act like they have $1 million when they only have 30,000. But I heavily partaked in that, not just even, with the insurance stuff, but my God, I was a specialist in hospitality. I was owning restaurants. I was doing, any and everything in hospitality with grand openings and hanging out until 2 a.m. And just, I got to a point now where during that phase, I was, I was pretty heavy. I was unhealthy. There was a lot going on. So what I want to do now is I want to talk about the 10 things that not drinking has helped me with. I want to make this into something that's positive. And if it resonates with you, great. And, again, not against drinking. I'm not against people that can, let's just say monitor their life in a responsible way. And like I said, I've made a lot of money off of alcohol. I get it. It's a socialization. It's a thing of elegance for some people, like these big wine collections, these bourbon collections. It's an art. It's absolutely amazing. But for me, 10 years ago, I had to let it go because being type A, being somebody that will do any and everything to succeed, when you only have one mechanism inside the car, and that's just the gas pedal because there is no brake pedal, I had to get out of the car. So that's what I did 10 years ago. So so 10 things that not drinking has helped me with. So number one is sleep. So I completely sleep better. I mean, if I told you that I didn't even know what sleep was back when I drank, I wouldn't even be doing this statement justice. But there were times where, more times than not, I would be out and about. I wouldn't get home until 3 a.m. I would go home and probably drink more if I was still with it. And I would stay up till 5 or 6. And then I would have to get up at 9 or maybe a little bit earlier to make a 9 or 10 o'clock meeting. Not sleeping when you're younger, it's not necessarily healthy, but you can get away with a lot more. I knew once I hit 40, and now even without drinking, if I don't get my sleep, if I don't get my 8 p.m. until 4 a.m., because I get up at 4, it's just what time resonates with me. I like to watch the sunrise. I like to play with the dogs a little bit. If I don't get that span of sleep, give or take, maybe even an hour here or there, I'm useless. I'm completely useless. And to have cut alcohol out of my life has really helped, not just with the aspect that I'm getting more sleep, but I'm getting more quality sleep. I'm not snoring. I'm not drooling. I'm not in and out of sleep. Well, I am old, so I do go to the bathroom quite a bit. And I actually, believe it or not, I log in all my bathroom breaks every morning. So really good nights are 1 bathroom breaks. Really bad nights are 3 bathroom breaks. I know, it's like old man stuff. But my prostate's awesome. I have been checking that just so in case you guys are, I don't know if that has anything to do with prostate. But anyways, so sleep, that's been great. I wake up and I feel refreshed and I'm not, hungover and trash. All right, number 2. It really goes right into what I just said. I don't wake up feeling like trash. And this is huge because when you have another day that is gifted to you, and especially as you're older, right? you don't have as many of those days as when you were, say, Anna's age, which is what, 20? 19. Okay. See, even another year. You don't have the gift of, that many more years. You've utilized a lot of those years. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I mean, because I did live and have experiences, I wasted a lot of those years or those nights or those mornings. And so not feeling like trash now, to be able to get up and be bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and annoy my wife the minute she gets up, all these little things that really make me happy. Just kidding, honey. But no, being able to get up and walk around the neighborhood and, just know that I'm going to have a productive day, know what's on my plate, and not have any, qualms about going out and having those, productive aspects of the day, because I'm not tired and I'm not hung over and my mouth isn't, doing that. And yeah, it's so much better. I can just tell you that. So that's number 2. Number 3, I don't make late night bad food choices. Okay. So when I drank, I was the king of Filibertos, right? Or Jack in a Box, or whatever crap I could put into my system at 2 a.m. I was like, I will have, a number 5, 6, 8, 10. And I would eat every bit of it. I mean, it was so good, right? And I remember going to Denny's with my friend John, and we would literally go to a bar called the Dubliner, get completely, hammered there with the Guinness and Irish car bombs. And then we would go to Denny's. That was our thing. And we would get the sampler, okay? The sampler, if I can remember correctly, and if you're listening to this and I'm not correct, just bear with me. It was cheese sticks, onion rings, chicken fingers, and I think that was it. And it was good, right? And I would eat like 2 samplers, and probably some pie after that. Yeah. And that's at like 2 a.m. at Denny's right up the road. And I mean, the amount of calories that I would just put in at night. And again, as I had said earlier, I got up to, I average between 145. I'm bulking up a little bit now, so I'm probably about 149 now. But I got up to about 200 pounds on a 5'6" frame body. That's more than 50 pounds heavier than what I am now. And that's pure fat. I mean, that's pure sampler, all going right in there. That's pure, what was it? Tacos, greasy tacos from Jack in a Box. Their tacos were the best. But it was just all that stuff that I did. And I shouldn't have been eating, that stuff that late at night. So that's number 3. I don't make those bad late night food choices. At this point in the game, I eat dinner at 4 o'clock. Yep, 4 o'clock. And I am done eating. I make my little rice cake cookies that are within my macros, and they're so good with almond butter and little chocolate chips and white chocolate chips. And I am done eating right around 5, and I go to bed at 8. So I give my time some digestion. And yeah, this is good for me. Okay, number 4. My weight does not fluctuate. My clothes fit, and they feel great. So it's really important to me that when I go and I open my drawer and I put my pants on, that my little belly ain't hanging over them, right? I literally got up to a 36-inch waist. That was when I was at my biggest. I mean, literally 36 inches. It was not good. And I again, I've said this many times, I thought I was sexy. I really did. I still had kind of a manly figure, but man, my gut was not in check. And so I had to, and I would fluctuate though. Then I would go on these habits from like, oh my God, I don't feel good about myself. And so then I would have to be like, oh, I got to work out for a while. So I'd quit drinking for 3 months. I would lose a bunch of weight, and I would fluctuate down. Now I'm wearing 34s or 32s. I'm having to buy new clothes. I mean, it's just a pain in the ass. It really is. And it doesn't really make you feel that good about yourself. Now I'm in such a great position of, monitoring what I eat and how I work out and all these things, that I pretty much know what I have in my clothes bracket is pretty much what I'm going to wear the rest of my life. And it's a cool thing to know that, now I wear a size 29 and they're still loose on me. And I'm wearing child small shirts, because I like to show my big muscles. but that being, I'm the opposite of Jeremy, who was here yesterday. Jeremy wears his long sleeve, shirts or whatever, because he doesn't want people to stare at him. I love it when people stare at me. So if you do see me on the streets, please stare at me, because I work my ass off for this beautiful body. Again, the reason why I bring this up in the whole, the alcohol thing is because I know what I'm going to wear, how I'm going to wear, what clothes fit, and I don't have to make a decision on whether or not to try to clip something around my waist that may or may not fit. And it's the most uncomfortable feeling in the world. So to feel comfortable, to feel good, not just in your own skin, but in your own clothes, not have to go buy clothes every 6 months because you're going down this trajectory of, alcohol, fatness and drinking and eating and all this sort of thing. That's a good thing. All right, number 5, I have extra money to buy organic food, and I don't feel bad about having coffee out. So what does that mean? Well, when I had literally no money, or I was starting to make money, I was spending $200 to $300 a night, maybe 3 nights a week on bar tabs. Literally. And we're talking, 10 years ago and older. So this is back when beers were actually reasonable, or, vodka sodas or whatever. And I was not discriminatory on what I drank. If it was wet and it was, I was in the mood for it, I would drink it. Some nights were bourbon nights, some nights were beer nights, some nights were shot nights. It just didn't matter. Some nights were wine nights. I was very eclectic in my drinking ability. So I would just spend hundreds of dollars. I was the life of the party. I like to buy, I'd love to buy everybody else drinks too, because maybe I started, I wanted to be cool. I wanted to, show everybody, and I'd just tab it up. And so hundreds of dollars. So with all that saving in booze, I now buy organic, healthy food. I buy all the foods and all the things that everybody complains about that they can't afford. And I call bullshit. I'm going to call bullshit on it. You know why? Because it is. And you can buy good food, one ingredient food. You can buy it inexpensively if you're smart and you prep and you don't need to eat that much. And, now I think Jack in the Box tacos are really expensive. They're probably more than the apples and the carrots and the grass-fed meat that I buy at this point. I don't even know what does a Jack in the Box taco cost? You do too. If that taco, no, you don't eat them either? Oh. I bet they're like $3 or $4. Yeah. For done. There. Did you hear that? That was $4. $4 right there. So anyways, having the extra money and then going to get coffee out. I feel good about going and getting my coffee and having my routine, and my wife and I do that together. And it's, it feels like I'm saving money even when I'm going to go get coffee. So, all right. Number 6, this is important, kind of serious. I remember all the conversations, and in social settings, I don't make a butt out of myself anymore, and I don't have to apologize. I can't even tell you how many times I just was so clear thinking and probably acting out and speaking out, and Mr. Alcohol got into my brain, into the other aspect of my personality. Jekyll would come out while Hyde was over here, and the things that I would say and do, I know I have many, I don't want to say regrets, because I never like to ponder on mistakes or regrets or things like that, but let's just say at this time and moment, those are things that I will never do again, because I don't believe in, that aspect of treating myself and or others with a vocabulary that can be degrading or hurtful, or, in aspects just, maybe a little bit crazy. So I am so proud of the moment the last 10 years. I have 0 that I don't remember. I remember everything. And it's great to have that feeling and to have that control and to be in control of the social setting and to know that I don't need alcohol. I don't need an alternative substance to have me still be the life of the party, but the life of the party of somebody that understands and that can acknowledge and that can focus and that can listen and that can regurgitate and that can enjoy the moment for what the moment is, because you're never going to get that moment again. but also not have the moment to where you wake up the next day and you're like, oh shit, what did I say to Sally or Bill? Or, like those questions are the worst. It's the worst when you make an ass out of yourself and you don't know what you said or did. Number 7, this is a good one. My car always makes it home with me. Okay. And that's, even if I, go out for a late function, my car is always home with me. Why is that important? Most people cannot live without their cars. Now, I know that there's driverless cars coming online now, and there are some different options. There's Ubers, and we didn't have a lot of Ubers when I was really drinking heavily. I mean, that Uber just started coming out probably in the last phase of my, my alcohol tirade. But, back in the day, it was so important to have your car with you. And admittedly so, I'm sure I know that there were probably, questionable nights where I was probably an asshole. And I'm just so glad I don't ever have to live with that or deal with that again. Because from a professional side, when I see how, people still continue to do that, it really just, it saddens me because of the potential of what it could do to somebody else that has nothing to do with what you have been partaking in. And what I mean by that is causing an accident or creating something to where somebody could lose their life or get, hurt or killed. I see it all the time in my business. And I'm so happy that over the last decade, I've been able to be just cognizant of how I'm driving, where I'm driving, and even I'm so peculiar on the road. Even at night, I'm so careful. Like, I don't even drive at night anymore unless I really have to. I know it's like totally like 80-year-old stuff here. But the thing is, you get to a certain age where you just don't want to be out that late. You just don't want to do that sort of stuff. Oh, you either do or you don't. Most people that I talk to that are my age, that we're kind of like, yeah, no, we're cool, dude. Well, dinner's over, it's 8 o'clock, go home. But I'm very cognizant of what's on the road and what's around me because I know what goes on from a different lens than what most people would even see. Even people that I insure as far as restaurant owners don't even understand how many drunk drivers are out there and how much potential for damage and death and all those things because people haven't taken the responsibility to call an Uber or do things. And so I'm just glad that my car always makes it home with me safe. Now I can worry about my kids. Number 8, I'm 50 and I want to do everything optimal, not just for my age, but, as I get older as well. And what I mean by that is it'd be cool. I mean, I'm thinking I'll live to about 135. So I'm trying to work my way backwards. Like, what can I do now that I can build myself up to be able to do when I'm 135? And so to live optimally, you have to be able, in my opinion, to eliminate all the things that don't create, the most optimal measures. So drinking was just one of those things. I just gave it up. It was, that and eating, horribly because I still love to eat like, food, and I never really monitored even after drinking because, again, I'm type A and I go down those rabbit holes and I do all those sorts of things. But being this age and, it's just a number, but it's also a part of my life where, let's just say business-wise, financially, relationship-wise, hobby-wise, all the things that I have going for me, I love, and I do them day in, day out, and I have that enjoyment. So I want to keep optimizing that and keep being a better husband, a better father, better family person, a better boss, all those sorts of things. And the only way to be able to do that again and have that focus is to eliminate all the things that are non-optimal out of my life, and that's what alcohol has allowed me to do by getting rid of it. So it's pretty cool. Number 9, I never miss a workout. I get the buzz from moving the body, and honestly, the endorphins that I get from it, they absolutely replace the buzz of booze. So, working out for all of us is something different. Some people, I used to get that runner's high. That was great. Even when I go for a hike now, I get a high. I listen to my old 80s tunes. I listen to my Van Halen. And I listen to things that motivate me, that make me just, excited and anticipatory for what's to come next. And I've been listening to a lot of Creed lately. Actually, I like Creed. I showed Diddy Creed the other day. So I just... Again, workouts are so important to me. And they're different for me now too. But I can tell you when I drank, oh my goodness, I would miss more workouts than I would make because nobody's working out when they're hungover, and we would have every excuse in the book. You're dehydrated, you're lethargic, you're basically sleepless, you still have tacos in your belly from the night before. Just not a good thing. So never missing a workout for me is so important, and honestly, never missing a rest day, never missing a day of meditation and playing guitar and doing the things that are important to me, because I would miss those days as well. Because believe it or not, when you're hungover, you're not feeling well, you're not doing those other things. You're not resting at all. Your body is repairing all the damage that it's done, okay? And again, when I talk about drinking, I'm talking about, like, I didn't go out and have one drink. This is not about, all of you people out there that can have a glass of wine at dinner and, relax a little bit and then go home and wake up and be totally fine and be serial killers. Totally awesome. What a gift you have. But my gift is to basically eliminate all that stuff and not have it. That's my gift. And so understanding what our gifts are as different individuals and different people, that's the most important thing. And that's what, has helped me get to this 10-year anniversary. All right. So number 10, I'm always predictable and solid for my family, and they absolutely deserve the best for me. So, again, at the beginning of the podcast, I said that I quit drinking for myself, and I did. That is the truth. But I would absolutely be remiss to say that because of the way that I was and the way that I drank and the way that I acted and how I was just very much over the top. I mean, to be sober and to be like this and a little bit of a maniac, just imagine when you have an alternative substance and it hits your brain in a certain way to make you 10 times the maniac, right? And, at the beginning of my relationship with my wife and acquiring two, new kids, my boys, at a younger age, 9 and 11, alcohol just wasn't going to fit that mix. There was a moment where, it just wasn't a good, let's just say, relationship between me, alcohol, and the type of environment I really wanted to create to have a family. So there had to be a choice made for me, for my future. And if I wanted my future to include a family and a wife and the responsibility of having all that, then I very quickly made the choice to have a better life with all of them that were more important to me than a substance. And that's the number one. I know it's number 10 on the list. It's really number one. It's the number one reason why, for me, that was the choice, because now I can give back to them 100%. I can always be present. I'm not unpredictable. Unpredictability in a relationship, whether that's a business relationship, a friendship, a father to a son, a husband to a wife, unpredictability, it can be really shitty, and it can also cause a lot of let's just say issues that just shouldn't even exist. Because when you have communication and you have a solid foundation and a ground and an understanding, and my wife knows that when her husband's going to come home, he's pretty much going to be on that, same level every day, plus or minus good day, bad days, sort of bullshit. But other than that, it's a good place for us all as a family to be in. And that's my number one reason. So to recap, 10 years, no booze. Those are my top 10 reasons. Take them for what they are. I love them. I'm excited. It's a measure of time, yes, but now it's just a part of my life. I smell alcohol, doesn't resonate with me. I don't even know that it's really around me. I can be around it. I can have friends that do it and that hang out with it, and I don't need to say a word about it. I don't care. All I know is that this is what works for me. This is what makes me happy. This is where I'm going for the future of my life, and I'm excited to basically not eat tacos late at night, not feel lethargic, get great sleep, feel and look fit, my clothes fit, be predictable for my family, and just have all of those mechanisms together, and have more time in my life that is becoming shorter and shorter by the minute, but more time to enjoy that. So maybe I have more time, period. So That is the podcast for today. I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe. Please give it a 5-star. If you're on YouTube watching this, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out some of the older podcasts that we have. And I do have a new book, Reignite Your Spark, coming out, along with a program that's coming out with that, which will be a lot of fun. A lot of, different types of coaching and mechanisms to help people within their lives to niche themselves and just be excited about life in general, to give you some energy. So that's what I'm here for. That's why I'm living the rest of this life out. I hope you enjoyed. And until next time, peace out.